Hello again, herb lovers. Toni here from Life, Love and Lettuce, and welcome back to the kitchen. Today I want to talk to you about herbal tea. Herbal tea is not technically a tea. Tea is Camellia sinensis, which is what I like to call gumboot tea, which most people think about when they think about a cup of tea. Herbal tea is technically what's called a tisane. But we're going to call it tea because we like to keep things as simple as we can around here. And a lot of people I have come to discover in the many years that I've been brewing my own herbal tea do not realise that you can make a beautiful and wonderful pot of tea from fresh herbs. So we're going to talk about that today as well. But before we do, I just want to talk about a little bit of the accumulated tea making equipment that I have gathered over the years. If you'd like to go more in depth on tea making equipment or ways to make your herbal teas, let us know and we can go more in depth for you. But you can see we have an array of equipment in front of us, and a lot of this is about whether you're making tea for one and you may want to use a little reusable, effectively, tea bag here, or you might be making tea for four, in which case you'd want to use one of the larger pots that I have on hand. My favoured piece of equipment for making tea for one, which I'm going to show you today, is the single serve French press. And today from the garden we have some beautiful apple mint for you, freshly grown for this spring. We have some pineapple sage and its flowers, which smells beautiful and is putting on a lovely spring show in the garden at the moment. We have some dandelion flowers, really important at this time of the year, first food for the bees and for us as well. And I also have some rose geranium, which I love in my tea. It smells absolutely just beautiful. There is nothing like it, and it makes a lovely, lovely tea. So quite often what I would do is I just tear these up, but I'm going to be a little bit more couth for you today. So I'm going to chop them into small pieces. The reason that we do this is we like to have as much surface area available for the water to get to with the herb. It doesn't have to be minced or anything too tricky, but a quick little chop. And then we are going to pack our herbs into our French press. And the only thing to think about when you are using fresh herbs against dried herbs is that you need about a third more for fresh herbs, because that takes into account the 70% extra water content that you've already got in the herb itself. So this is probably, I don't know, about 1 to 2 tablespoons. If I was using these herbs dried, then I'd probably use about 1 to 2 teaspoons. So a much smaller amount if we're using dried herbs to fresh herbs, but there is no reason why you can't make a beautiful cup of tea with fresh herbs. So we've just boiled some water, so I will go and get that and I will be right back with you. So I learned to make a gumboot tea a very long time ago as a child, and my mother was very vigorous about the way that she taught me how to use the dried tea leaves and warm the pot and use the water just off the boil. Really important that you don't scorch your tea or your herbs with rolling, boiling water. So this water has boiled, it is still hot, but it's not on a rolling boil. So we just let the edge come off the boil and then we pour the water onto our herbs. And the reason we do this is because really, really hot water is going to evaporate the essential oils. So we're now going to want to put a top on that as soon as we can, just to lock all that herbal oily goodness into the water. You may or you may not be able to see that there's been some air bubbles escaping from the herbs through the top of the French press, and the reason that I like to use this to make tea is because I can hold the herbs under the water so that they're all completely covered by the warm water, and the water is now doing its job of extracting all those wonderful flavours out of the herb. You can help this process along a little by doing just a couple of pumps with your French press, which I do, and then I tend to just leave the herb to do its thing in the water for about 10 to 15 minutes. So we will leave that for now, and we will pop back in about 10 minutes and pour our wonderfully steeped cup of tea. Okay, so we're back 10 minutes later, and here's our tea, and we're just going to push all the herbs down to the bottom, and we're going to pour our beautiful herbal tisane into our cup. There's something special about drinking tea out of china cups. I don't know why, but it just makes it taste different. And this is my grandma's china cup. It always makes me think of her when I drink out of it. So there we are. A steaming, possibly still too hot cup of tea. I will have a little sip and I will let you know. Absolutely delicious. Aromatic, flavourful, and just what you need. Enjoy. If you want to know anything else about making teas, ask away. We're here to help. Love and letters. I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.